Hello and welcome to the CSF 3103 Lab series. This is Lab 3. We're going to talk about, it has two parts. Part 1, we're going to set up the security onion. The second part, we're going to talk about is Sguil, right? Okay, so here I have already logged into security onion. So I'm just going to start this setup. So you won't be able to proceed with this lab unless you run the setup for the security onion, right? So I'm just going to double click on it. Here it's asking for the root password, which is we have already set during the installation, which is let me in. So hit OK. Just going to put this a little bit up here. So I'm just going to say yes, continue. And here again, we're going to say yes, continue. I'm sorry, for this here, we don't want to set up the network adapter interface now, right? So it's already set. We're going to just say no. Then yes, continue. Here we are going to select the evaluation mode, right, which is the default. Just going to say okay again. Here we have to create a username, so that we will use for Kibana, Squared, and Sguil. All right. So we are going to use the same username, which is ACT, and also the same password. It could be different, but for consistency, and you don't want nobody to forget the password, so we're going to use the same username and password. So the password here, let me in, capital LETMEIN. Just going to confirm. And let me in again. All right, so here, just going to say yes, proceed with the changes, and then it's going to complete the setup for us. As we see here, Squared, Sguil, and down here is Kibana is starting to show up on our desktop. They weren't there before. Okay, so now you have to click OK. So because security onion setup is now completed, so I'm just gonna hit OK for all the coming messages. And OK. And OK. Okay, now the security onion is already set up, and we are ready to use Sguil and Squared and Kibana just right here. All right, so we will move to the next part. So in part 2, we're going to use Sguil to investigate a simulated attack. So here, where you can just double click on Sguil or just right click and execute it. So here we're going to use the username and password that we have already specified during this setup. This is ACT and password, let me in. You have to put in mind that Sguil is not a web-based client, right? So here I have to select all, right? So I would like to monitor in all interfaces and start all these sensors, right? So here is start Squeal. Here we just see that Squeal is just detected some traffic and generated some events related to the operating system security, which is the security onion itself, right? You see these, all the event messages here are OSIC, 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 and source IP to destination IPs and all zeros there, right? So let me just go to the whiteboard here and explain the first step that what we are going to do, and then we're going to come back to security onion. So first, we have to uh, create a new directory. So that's where we're going to put our PCAP file, all right? So we're going to create a new directory. So this directory here, going to call it pcap files, and there is a file located here /opt /samples. So there is a file located here, and this file called example.com-3. So example.com-3.pcap. So we're going to copy this file from this location to this directory here, all right? So let's do that. And then we're going to replay this Pika file. So here, if I go to the terminal emulator, all right, so mkdir pcap files, right? So this is the directory, which is under the ACT home directory, right? So it's under ACT home directory. If we see that, it's just right there. And then I can move to this directory by just change directory cd to pcap files, or I can copy just providing the path, right, for both the source and destination of the directories. Okay, so cp opt samples, and then example. There are so many files here, for example, named examples.com, right? So if I just want to show you that, ls opt sample. So you see all these files here, and um, these files, they came preloaded with the security onion, right? So, and this is the file that we're interested in. So this is the file that we are going to copy, all right? So just let me clear this. Cp opt samples example 3.pcap. So when I copy that file and put it here on the directory that we just created. Okay, so ACT pcap files. Just try to extend this a little bit if possible. Okay, so enter. Now it should be copied. If I do ls, uh, pcap files here, I see that example.com-3 pcap file is already copied. Okay, so now the next step is what we would like to do. So let me see if I can have, all right, these here so we can see it. All right, so I'm just going to put it as here. And all right, so now let's replay this pcap file so that we can generate some events. All right, so in our Sguil, which is it's going to first, what is Sguil is? Sguil is it's an IDS. All right, so that's we're going to use it to generate some events, and these IDS it will give us some alerts. So these alerts, and also we can gather more information about series of events related to the attack that we are going to simulate right now. Right, so that's for further investigation. So what we can do, we have to be an administrator or a root. Do not forget sudo TCP replay. I'm going to replay this -I. So we have to specify the interface Ethernet 0. We already know that from the previous labs, right? So or you can do sudo ifconfig will show you the available interfaces and which interface that you would like to replay this pcap file. So here is Ethernet 0 -t. Let's use that, and then let's just give the path for the file. So you could be in the directory where you have your pcap file, or you can provide the path. Right? I could have done cd pcap files, pcap-files, enter, and then I'll be in there, and then I can just put the name of the pcap. So since I didn't do that and I'm still in the HCT home directory, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say pcap. Let's give the full path, HCT home, home HCT pcap files, and then example. All right, let me just extend this a little bit so you can see. So let's do that here. Example. .com-3.pcap, and I'll hit enter. Of course, it's going to ask me for the password. Let me in. And as we see here, so the traffic has been generated. And if I go back to Sguil, then I see there's a lot of traffic here and a lot of alerts. Right, has been generated. A lot of alerts that have been generated, and so we need to investigate on these ones here. And if you follow the lab, I already have the lab open here. So that's this part here. And task 1 is asking you to locate the alert with the event message et p2p BitTorrent. All right, so and which is right here, and you have to answer these questions according to this. I'm not going to answer these questions, but I can answer the first two. What is the source IP? What is the destination IP? All right, for that. So if I go back here, hopefully I can remember that. Okay, here it is. ETP2P BitTorrent. All right. So let me just double check to see that's the right one. Yeah, DH ping request. So which is um, this one right here. All right. So now we need to answer uh, some questions. So if I can click here, just click on these, show packet data, and show rules. Okay, so show a rule. This will help too. Just have this one here. All right, let's trying to have. Okay, so that's much better now. It's because you know the area of the screen that I'm trying to record is just a very small one. So here now source IP, destination IP. So that's your source IP, destination IP, and then you also here you can have some about the DNS information, reverse DNS. All right, so that if it resolves these DNS information. So here also you can have more information by, let me just finish that, it's still rolling. So here if you right click and hold on the alert ID, then you can basically pivot to other applications. So such as Wireshark, network, a miner, right? And you can also view the transcript, right? So if you have received such an error, just uh, say OK. And here, I'm just going to go to transcript. All right, so here, I think that uh, one of the questions in the lab. So because this one here, transcripts can only be generated for TCP traffic. It's a good one because this one is not a TCP traffic, it's a UDP, right? It's a UDP traffic. That's why you cannot generate any transcript for this. But if you need more information, so you can also just right click, right on hold, you can pivot to Wireshark. So if I go here, Wireshark, all right, so here you can also answer a lot of questions. As you see here, this is using UDP, all right, so, and then you can answer a lot of questions from here, such for related to MAC address, for example, and all these here. So you can uh, go here, Ethernet, for example, and I don't know why I'm right clicking. So source and destination MAC addresses and so on. So um, now if we just go back here to the lab, then you have a second for task 2. Now you have to do the same thing, all right? That's where how you copy it, the example.com-3.pk file to the pk files directory. So the same thing here, what you are going to copy here now, you're going to copy example.com-4.pcap, right? And then you're going to simulate it again and replay the attack. And this time you're going to do ET, which is the alert with the event message ET info.exe file requested over FTP. All right. So I can tell you here, you can pivot to the transcript and you can view it because of this one here is using TCP, right? So let's do that real quick and then um, you can continue with the lab answering these questions. All right, so here I'm going to just close Wireshark. See here. Okay, going to go to the terminal. So now CP OPT samples example.com, but this time 4, right? Where you want to copy it, you want to copy it to home ACT pk file, right? So and then I'm going to just replay this pk file. So again, sudo TCP replay, sorry, -I for the interface, Ethernet 0, -T. So give the path here. Oops. Home ACT pk files example 4 pcap. All right, so if I go back here now to Sguil, I should see more alerts, right? Which is these here. And I believe this is the one that we are interested in. This one here. So it looks like it's doing something in the background. That's why I cannot like highlight this. So uh, if something like this happened to you during the lab, what I can do is I can close Sguil and minimize this and open it again. Let's do that. I'm glad this has happened, so you know what to do. ACT, let me in. Right, so again, I'm going to select all and start. So select all and start. So here, this is the alert for task 2 that I'm interested in, this one here. All right. So again, what you can do is you can show the rule, or you can um, show packet data. Okay, let me show the rule. The packet data is just right down here. If I do that here. Okay, so here down here, these are the packet data. It's about the source port, destination port, because we know that it's the FTP, so port 21. I'm going to go here to the alert ID and right click. And if I go to, now I can go to the transcript because this one, it uses TCP. You see here? And there's a lot of plethora of information here you can answer related to the lab's questions. All right, so I think that's it about this lab, and I hope this has been informative, and I would like to thank you for viewing.